About 99.9% of matches that happen in the WWE are scripted. The wrestlers in the ring are working together to put on an entertaining show for the fans, and the winner has been decided before either competitor has stepped foot in the ring. Over the years, however, WWE has tried a ton of different things, and that includes having wrestlers actually fight one another. Just for clarification, we're talking about WWE matches that were real from start to finish, not matches that became real fights somewhere in the middle. An example of this is what happened in the late 90s when WWE was in the midst of the Attitude Era. It seemed like anything could and did happen during that time. This includes having wrestlers actually fight one another. Former WWE writer Vince Russo came up with the idea for a tournament called the Brawl for All. Every week on Raw, wrestlers on the roster would fight one another in matches that were 100% real. The idea came about when Russo overheard JBL saying he could beat anyone on the WWE roster in a bar fight. To JBL's credit, he did sort of back up his words. The Texas native won 3 fights in a row until losing to Bart Gunn in the final round.
Well, this may not last much longer.
Oh, there it is! Oh my God!
Other notable WWE wrestlers who fought in the tournament include Hall of Famers Road Warrior Hawk and The Godfather, the latter of which did pretty well too, winning 3 fights. As for the rest of the tournament, a lot of the participants suffered real injuries, being that this was, real matches. WWE fans at the time hated the Brawl for All, and the entire thing finally came to an end at WrestleMania 15. The winner of the tournament, Bart Gunn, took on professional boxer Butterbean in the first and only real fight in WrestleMania history. Being that Gunn wasn't a professional fighter, it was no surprise that Butterbean knocked out the WWE wrestler in about 30 seconds, also making it the 9th fastest match in WrestleMania history. Tough Enough was a competition where ordinary people were given the opportunity to win a WWE contract. The 4th season of the contest was a chaotic mess. The whole thing blurred the line between script and reality, and there were a number of moments that were legitimately real. One of them was when Kurt Angle challenged all the contestants to a squat thrust challenge. Chris Naraki ended up winning the contest. His reward was a real wrestling match against Kurt Angle. On top of Angle being an Olympic gold medalist, Naraki was also exhausted from all the squat thrusts. It's not surprising then that Angle managed to quickly take down his opponent and defeat him in under a minute. After beating Naraki, Kurt issued an open challenge to the other Tough Enough competitors. Daniel Puder, a legitimate MMA fighter, accepted Kurt Angle's offer. Angle and Puder fought each other for real, and it ended up being pretty competitive. Daniel Puder even locked Angle in a Kimura lock and was seconds away from actually breaking Kurt's arm. Luckily, one of the WWE referees counted Daniel Puder's shoulders, even though it looks like they weren't actually on the mat. Puder and Angle have different stories on what happened, but everyone agrees it was a real fight in that WWE ring. Since that showdown with Kurt Angle went so well, WWE decided to have the Tough Enough competitors in another real fight. After several eliminations, it finally came down to the 2 finalists, The Miz and Daniel Puder. They got to fight each other in a real boxing match at the 2004 Armageddon pay-per-view. Puder was the favorite to win the fight due to his MMA background, but The Miz wasn't a pushover. The A-lister actually had some experience boxing in his high school years. If he hadn't, the state commission may not have allowed WWE to put The Miz in a boxing match. In the first round, things stayed pretty competitive. The Miz took a decent amount of abuse, but he dished out a fair bit of offense too. As the fight went on, it was clear that The Miz was getting worn out. Puder stayed strong and was the one who got the most offense in. To The Miz's credit, he did last all 3 rounds. The WWE fans in attendance ultimately decided who the winner was, and they chose Daniel Puder. While he may have lost that night, The Miz has gone on to become one of the most decorated wrestlers in WWE history, so I think it's worked out pretty well for him.